Hello, Assalamualaikum. I'm Izzati Jasrie binti Jepri. For final year project 1, I chosen project title of The Effect of Salinity on Tomato Lycopersicum esculentum during seed germination stage. This project was supervised by Madam Safarina binti Ahmad. These are the content for this presentation. It includes introduction, literature review, materials and method, expected outcome, work schedule, and references. Salinity is one of abiotic factors that play a role in plant growth development. An increase in salinity can affect by lowering osmotic pressure surrounding the seed and eventually cause less water uptake needed for seed germination. The factors contribute to these issues such as evaporated salt water, which then accumulate into heavy rainfall, salt retained in earth, low quality irrigation, and over-fertilization. A research carried by Srivastava and Kumar said that only 20 to 50% crop yield produced due to environmental conditions such as drought, high soil salinity, and climate change. By studying the effect of soil salinity toward tomato seed germination, we can further the study by creating genetically modified tomato that can tolerate salinity stress. In this project, the species studied was Lycopersicum esculentum with the research question, what is the suitable salinity levels that can be tolerated by the tomato seed? The objective for this project is first, to identify the limit of salinity level tested on tomato seed germination and plant growth. Secondly, to identify the suitable salt combination that can give a high germination rate. And lastly, to evaluate the percentage of seed germination on tomato seed emergence. For literature review, I've reviewed few topics to be discussed in this project. First is tomato life cycle stages. Tomato is an annual plant where it takes 1 year or 1 growing season to complete their life cycle. It has 3 growth stages, which are leaf, flower, and fruiting stage. The maturity time depends on the season itself. Early season takes about 50 to 60 days to mature. Mid-season took about 60 days to 80 days to mature, and late season took more than 80 days to mature. Secondly, tomato seed germination stage. Tomatoes start to emerge after 5 to 10 days after sowing. The first appearance are emergence of radicle. Then the shoots start to grow upward until it breaks through the soil surface to grab the sunlight. Then first true leaf are formed, and then 3 true leaves are formed. At this stage, the photosynthesis rate are higher, which means the growth rate also higher. And lastly, root system is formed. Thirdly, level of salinity stress. Soil salinity measured using electrical conductivity, EC. The unit are decimians per meter. Non-saline soil, it is 0 to 2 decimians per meter. Slight saline soil, it is 2 to 4 decimian per meter. Moderately saline soil, 4 to 8 decimian per meter. Strongly saline soil, it is 8 to 16 decimian per meter. And extreme saline are more than 60 decimians per meter. The most suitable for tomato germination, seed germination are at moderate saline, which is 4 to 8 decimians per meter. Next, the effect of salinity on seed germination. A group of scientists had carried out an experiment where it said combination of nanosilicon with sodium chloride will enhance germination rate at 6%. Silicon can increase the negative effect of salinity on germination by 20%. The last topic for literature review is the effect of increasing sodium chloride. Increasing sodium chloride concentration to a tomato plant can cause decrease drastically in germination characteristic by 20%. Another group of scientists said that 3% of sodium chloride made germination rate increase drastically from 78% to 30%. The material needed for this project is that for sample collection, tomato seeds, specifically Lycopersicum esculentum species, will be obtained for sterilization reagent. The material needed are deionized distilled water and 1% of mercuric hypochlorite. For germination stage, only petri dishes and filter paper will be needed. Lastly, for shoot and root proliferation, material needed are sodium chloride, calcium chloride, sand, seed starter soil, and 72 cell trays. Now we move on to methods. For sample collection, tomato seed Lycopersicum escalatum will be obtained from local nurseries at Kuching or Kota Semarang area. For sterilization method, the seed will be soaked with 0.1% of mercury hypochlorite, then washed with deionized distilled water twice. Move on to germination stage. Each petri dish will contain 20 seeds with moist filter paper. The setting for germination is that it will be placed in dark room at 26 degrees Celsius for 4 to 5 days. Shoot and root proliferation, the seedlings will be transferred into 72 trace cell and then transferred into growth chamber. For salinity stress, this research will be tested the effect of salinity as slightly saline, moderately saline, and strongly saline. The parameters are control contains 0 sodium chloride and calcium chloride. Slightly saline will contain 0.9 gram of sodium chloride and 0.75 gram of calcium chloride. Moderately saline will contain 3.6 gram of sodium chloride and 3 gram of calcium chloride. And lastly, strongly saline will contain 7.2 gram of sodium chloride and 6 gram of calcium chloride. The setting for this step is at 14 hours of photo period at 26 degrees Celsius for 2 weeks. For data collection, the data collected such as number of leaf produced, height, shoot and root dry weight, germination percentage, speed of germination, and soil concentration using spectral photometer. Last but not least, data analysis will be using ANOVA where the p-value that less than 0.05 will be considered different. The expected outcome for this experiment is that tomato seed treated with 3.6 gram of sodium chloride and 3 gram of calcium chloride shows the best germination rate in terms of shoot and root dry weight. The reason behind this result is that combination of this mix of sodium chloride and calcium chloride will produce EC or electrical conductivity at moderately saline, which is at 4 to 8 decimiums per meter. The work schedule that I planned is beginning of October and November last year. I had reviewing research paper from various sources. From November until January, I will be preparing written proposal and presentation. In February, the bench work and sample collection will be starting. February until March, it is time to prepare the laboratory with materials needed. Next year, April to May, the planting and development evaluation will be starting. Progress of report and data analysis start during May to June. Lastly, data validation in terms of statistical data start in July, followed with report and data presentation. Well, that's the end of my presentation today. Thank you so much for your listening. Thank you.